It's Wednesday, January 14, and this is your Barbados Today Evening News Update. The Barbados Fire Service will soon get a new state-of-the-art facility at Prince Road, St. Michael, on the same compound as the CXC building. It will be the new home of the Probin Street Bridgetown headquarters, earmarked for demolition as part of the transformation of the capital. Home Affairs Minister Edmund Hinkson made the announcement today after he presented tablets to students of St. Albans Primary School with officials from the Aaron and Christina Trust Foundation.
The fire station located presently in Probin Street is in an area that is potentially disaster prone if a hurricane comes to Barbados or tsunami. I believe that that area might be even below sea level. I mean, you know, that Queen Elizabeth Hospital, for example, has issues, the issue of a swamp, and therefore, ideally, you looking long term, you do not want a fire station at that location in Probin Street. Relocation to Prince Hall means it is still, of course, within the St. Michael environment, just in outer Bridgetown, and you know, fire truck engines can get to Bridgetown easily and quickly in the event that there was a fire there.
Hinkson said the National Insurance Scheme will fund the new fire station. In the meantime, firefighters will be relocated to a temporary fire station at Prince Road, while others will be accommodated at the Worthing and Arch Hall fire stations. The minister also addressed concerns raised by some fire officers about plans for an outpost on Probin Street.
If fire officers have an issue, and mainly because of lack of knowledge, they could come and tell the chief fire officer that, the permanent secretary, even myself, through the fire association or whoever. But I think it was lack of knowledge and not knowing what will take place that has probably created some discomfort and feeling that you have to go to the press on these issues. But the outpost there is being created for firemen who may want to pass through town, because, look, firemen, fire officers have other duties than just when a fire takes place that, you know, you get a call and you're on your way. They have other statutory duties, as you know, administrative duties, inspection duties, etc. And if they're passing through town and you want to cool out for a while, there will be that outpost.
Prime Minister Mottley has reiterated government's commitment to facilitating investment in this country. Mottley made the comments last evening as she addressed the grand reopening of the Palm Terrace restaurant of the Fairmont Royal Pavilion Hotel in St. James.
In upping our game and doing more than we did yesterday, that we can make it better for those who depend on us or those who want to do business with us. And that more often than not, upping our game and improving productivity is not simply a quantitative measurement, but it is a qualitative measurement. And what does it mean? Treating people first with respect and ensuring that we understand that respect is a two-way street, that we need to talk with each other as opposed to talking at each other or talking to each other.
She also used the occasion to call for a major boost in productivity across the island to spur the country to greater heights.
Our business now as a nation is to be able to foster investment at small and at large levels. And the government is committed to being able to facilitate that investment wherever it is possible. I was happy to be able to visit here last year, I believe, to be able to see how best we can work to ensure that we can continue to expand existing businesses while creating the environment to foster the creation of new businesses.
Government today issued a reminder to the public that the sale and use of petroleum-based single-use cups, cutlery, and styrofoam containers are prohibited. It noted that under the Control of Disposable Plastic Act 2019, the use and offer for sale of plastic and styrofoam egg trays are also not allowed. The legislation, however, permits the use of plastic bags expressly designed for waste disposal, the preservation of food items, or plastic containers for items for pharmaceutical dispensing or any other medical use.
There's regional and international news after this short break. Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Craft Center. Kick off the weekend this Friday from 4 p.m. to midnight with loads of food, drinks, and entertainment. Get ready for Crop Over with the Rhythm Roots Street Parade. Party like it's Kadooman Day on the street around Pelican Village with costume reveler, music, and more. It's Festive Friday. It's Festive Friday at the Bridgetown Night Market at Pelican Village Center from 4 p.m. to midnight. Admission free.
Barbados Today, news you can trust.
To regional news, St. Lucia's Prime Minister Alan Chastney says he will be pumping more resources into tackling crime. More details in this report from HTS News Force.
Speaking to reporters at Monday's pre-cabinet briefing, Chastney says he was alarmed by the caliber of weapons on the streets, adding that it justifies his government's efforts to beef up the police.
Make sure that there is a fair match that's taking place in the streets.
According to the Prime Minister, all this points to the success of the campaign by the police to conduct regular checks on the roads.
I'm also grateful that the security check systems and the in heightened and increased traffic checks that we're doing, that it resounded into that kind of result.
The government is counting on the installation of cameras to assist in deterring and detecting crime.
We have signed the agreement with Digicel, and there is an additional 535 cameras that we're about to implement, which will be from Grosley to Castries as well as in Viewfort area in total. So we already have 95 of them that are on the highway between Grosley and Castries. I think this is going to go a long ways in being able to assist us both in traffic management, but more importantly in terms of the criminal activity that's taken place in our country.
On the international scene, the Russian Prime Minister and the entire government resigned today as part of sweeping constitutional changes that will see President Putin extend his hold on power. We get more in this report from Al Jazeera Television.
The Russian president expressed gratitude to the government, and he said that he was satisfied with the performance of this government. He accepted the resignation of Medvedev. Dmitry Medvedev is a man that has been close to the side of Vladimir Putin almost all of his career, actually from the very start when he first candidated for president. And as a show of appreciation and how close this man is to him, a Russian president announced actually a new position, and that is a deputy chairman of Russian Security Council, which will be given to Dmitry Medvedev. Now, on his annual address to the Federal Assembly, Putin announced changes in the constitution of Russian Federation, also the ones that apply to the government, which would mean that the government would no longer, actually the Russian parliament is no longer going to be only proposing prime minister and government members, but also is going to be confirming them, and the president will actually be obliged to confirm such a government, but if he is dissatisfied with them, he keeps the power to dismiss them, to fire them from their position.
That's news, but for the very latest, visit our website at www.barbadostoday.bb. You can also subscribe to our e-paper, email updates, or like us on Facebook, and sign up for our breaking news alerts via WhatsApp. We're also on Azuma Media in bus terminals, as well as Screenplay at supermarkets and gas stations near you. You can also hear us on Mix 96.9 FM and Capital Media HD 99.3 FM.